Hello, sup, and hi guys. So today, I'm going to do a little bit of story times. I've got one, and Joe's got one.
By the time you've got one, everyone knows my stories.
I got loads, they're just not appropriate for YouTube. Anyway. My story time is once upon a time, back when I used to work for an agency. So they used to send me to all over the place. They used to send me to do basically catering stuff, cleaning or whatever. This was my first ever job coming into the UK. So I got sent to this, what is it, babe? What? It's like a recovery, you know, when basically crazy people, to put it simple, people who got psychological problems. So basically criminals that have been, is a sort of a halfway house? No. Type for?
Not quite. Well, yeah, like you say, it's for criminals with psychological problems who can't be in society, into an actual prison and that stuff.
Well, they're not dangerous enough to be in a prison or something. I think.
Oh, I thought they were.
No. They get put into that place after I think they've been into prison.
Oh, right.
But then it's between. It's basically ones that aren't that dangerous that they need to be in a prison, but also not that sane that they can be let out into the real world.
Still a bit wappy.
Wappy AF. So basically I was working there, and to be fair, I did work there maybe a couple of weeks. I remember when I first arrived there, they looked at me, they're like, they sent you. Kind of surprised. This is obviously me at 18, very young, bright-eyed, excited to be work, and obviously very young, small, skinny little girl. So they looked at me surprised at first. I was surprised at first because I didn't realize what kind of place it was. They just sent me there. But the agency, they don't care. If you're one that's up to be sent somewhere, they just send you. And I was like, you know what, it's money, I don't care. So got there, did my cleaning, did food and everything. And talked to the people, talked to obviously the crazies every now and then. And I don't know if that's the real terms, and if I offend anyone, I am very sorry. Obviously I'm not meaning any harm, but that's my term that I'm using now. But I spoke to them, and obviously most of them were perfectly fine, and you are, well, they talk to you and it's not any issues at all. One day though, one beautiful day, I was in one of their rooms, and they're not really meant to be there while I'm there. But one of the guys, it looked like he came up to his room, and just as I was coming out of his room, it was sort of like a stairway area bit, he was standing there, and I sort of tried to get past. I was like, hi, and then sort of trying to get past him, but he sort of wouldn't let me, and there was a bit of a dance, and I was just there like, holy shit, I'm gonna get raped and killed right now and nobody's gonna know. But so basically they gave me a panic thing when I first arrived there. So if there's anything that's happened, if I need help, press it. So I pressed it, and like still talking to him, still like being nice, but still trying to like get away. But nothing, like no, it's like, oh, so where you from, blah blah blah, because he wasn't saying anything like rude or anything crazy, but it was kind of like coming on to me. But obviously in that scenario, it's scary for a young girl to be. So he wasn't doing anything, but it still scared the crap out of me just being there, not being able to get past him to leave. So I just kept talking to him, but then like suddenly they just when I tried to sort of push myself forward, one of the guys came up and go, "Oh, you're right there." And I just went,
oh God.
My heart. So as soon as we alright, that's like, yeah, I'm fine. It's like, alright, they need you for something, because obviously they don't want to let this guy know that I pressed my panic button, because that's probably to set them back or anything like that. So I went back, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna ask the agency not to send you. I was like, yeah, okay. I was like, oh my God. As I spoke to them, I didn't, to be fair, they shouldn't have sent me there. Like, it's obviously it needs to have been someone older, someone that's been dealt with things like that before, and not just a silly little 18-year-old But no, it was experience. It wasn't bad, but I was just scared, I think, being in that scenario.
You definitely should have been sending it though.
I shouldn't have.
Because I'm sure, because when, well, we've already spoke about this, but when I was at a place, I don't know if it was the same place.
Yeah.
If I was at the same place.
Yeah.
Obviously my job role was to keep them, not calm, but obviously just to look after, make sure everything, so like when after lunch I'd have to like count the cutlery, oh, we got flies.
Count the cutlery.
I have to count the cutlery.
I think yours was probably worse than mine. I can't remember having to do that. I don't remember much because it was so long.
Alright, but yeah, I had to count the cutlery. Obviously, certain ones that need it.
So
we've got a fly there. Yeah, make sure obviously like the certain ones got to their rooms safely without harming themselves or without harming anyone else. So, and the people that I worked alongside, it was like big, strapping, burly men or.
That's what I mean. It's either like normally people who are professionally working within that, or people who are normally quite like strong and big or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was my story
by a crazy.
Of when I was confronted by a crazy person.
So he didn't put hands on you or anything then? He was just...
I can't remember. I think there was something really close though, which made me... Because I worked, by that time, I had worked in like serving, waitressing and whatever. And I'm used to men coming on to me, men being extremely rude, touching me up. And obviously normally I never used to sort of challenge it. Obviously I think now if you ever did that to me, it'd be a different story. But when I was young, obviously I was alone pretty much in this country, and it was completely different. So I used to get quite a lot of harassment, which I sort of laughed off and pushed aside. And if there's someone that touched me, I'll just say, excuse me, don't touch me again, like that, or whatever. So I was sort of used to, if I could say, just smiling my way out of issues or out of harassment, which you shouldn't. Situations. So if you ever find yourself, which you shouldn't, because you shouldn't need to smile your way out of it, you shouldn't have to endure it. But I was just used to laughing things off in a way to get out. So he must have like said something, I don't remember, and I don't want to obviously put something out there that's not true, but I can't remember exactly, but I just remember, and obviously it stuck with me, but I remember being so scared, and I remember wanting to move out of that bed, but I just couldn't, and he was sort of blocking me, and I just pressed that button. And I'm so glad that that place obviously have that button and that they come that quick when something happened, because like and it was one of those as well where it's just like I pinned it onto my trousers. Because I take safety very seriously, so any job I go to, if they tell me do this, this and that, I will do this, this and that.
Down to the letter. Down
to the letter. So while I was just talking to him, I just moved my hand to it and pressed it. But yeah, so that's my story. Anyway, Joe, do you want to tell us about your story?
My story is going to be really, really quick. Obviously, I don't know if everyone knows, I did a lot of security work. I've done retail security, personal security, doorman, yada yada yada. But on this occasion I was retail security, so obviously I have my radio, and then I've got a headpiece, and then the managers, they have headpieces as well as their radios. However, some of the floor staff only have radios, but these are just to like, oh, we need like a refill or a stock exchange, yada yada yada. So they shouldn't have the channel that I'm on with the managers. Anyway, this fateful day, I don't know if I can use the terminology crackhead.
Just say it, man. If you're a crackhead, you're a crackhead. There's not really.
Yeah, like
she was crackily challenged.
She was crackheadedly challenged. Okay, yeah, we'll say a woman that looked like she was on drugs.
It was a crackhead. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
We all know what a crackhead looks like.
Yeah, she was a crackhead. Yeah, she was very word for wear. She was a bit like, couldn't stand up for, you know, walking a straight line. So I would have said she was inebriated also.
Inebriated?
Yeah,
Who the hell are you?
You like that word, don't you?
What the fuck does that even mean? Sorry, what the fudge does that even mean?
She had been drinking that morning.
She was drunk?
She wasn't drunk to the point of she didn't like know what was going on or anything like that. She'd clearly been drinking, like there was alcohol on her breath, and she had like all the things of what a crackhead would look like.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Your standard drunk crackhead there.
Basically. However, this standard drunk crackhead was cradling a wee baby in arms. Obviously, it was brought to our attention, or it was brought to my attention as soon as she walked in the store, because there was managers sort of like on the shop floor that would be talking to like other members of staff, making sure everything's going all right. So one of the guys was on the door, and then while I was doing like the rounds in the retail floor, he's basically like, Joe, we've got I forgot what they call it. It's like a C2 or C3 or something like that. Rather than say there's a crazy looking woman on the shop floor, we have to use
I see there's a crackhead on the shop floor.
Yeah, so I've completely forgot, which is really bad. But yeah, so I was informed that obviously she was in the store just to keep an eye on her. She didn't look like she was going to cause trouble or anything like that, but she was walking around. So I was walking around on the shop floor. Now the shop floor was really cool because it was like crisscrossed on two separate sort of like alleyways. So there was like a shop here, shop here, shop here. So it was like top man, top shop, and just different sort of stores in one big retail shop. So I could sort of like just hover and walk around, like do like figure of eights and stuff like that, and not look like I'm clearly looking at her anyway. One person, I was gonna swear then, but one person basically was fiddling with their radio and obviously turned to a channel that me and the manager was sort of like communicating on. And the woman was on the shop floor, and my manager was basically like describing the woman to me. And obviously as soon as he said, oh, she's got a baby in her arms, then obviously just keep an eye on her. So I was like, that's not a problem. I went to the shop front where the entrance door is. I've gone there, obviously just talking to other members of staff, trying not to look too conspicuous, that I can clearly see her. She's in front of me, but all the way at the other end of the shop. So as soon as the woman has heard that, she clearly knows that we're talking about her. She said something to the the sales assistant, the girl. The girl has obviously tried to say this isn't you, even though she like clearly was her.
Oh, it's come through on...
It's come through on her radio, even though we've got earpieces. Obviously, the shop floor, like the staff didn't have earpieces because it's not for there.
Oh, they're just meant to be able to hear, like, they're come to down floor saying...
Yeah, basically, like they're just getting, like, messages like that. Anyway, she's playing with the radio. That message has come through. That woman has taken offence. She knows that, obviously, she's already...
Oh, I kind of feel bad.
Which, yes, you can understand, but obviously, as soon as you come in, you're drunk, you clearly look a bit... You know,
they're gonna keep an eye on you.
We have to keep an eye on you.
But then I bet she felt it's like, oh my god, I'm just here to shop.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Was she at the till as well?
No, not at all. She was like just looking through, but she wasn't looking like, she wasn't picking any items up and going to the changing room. She was just in the shop for about half an hour, just looking, but not looking to the point of like, I can't describe it. Do you know, like when you're looking at things, you'll be looking at things and be like, oh yeah, that's nice, and then you take it out, you look here, do whatever, yeah. She was doing none of that. She was literally just walking all over the place and just looking like there was no point in being there. Okay. But yeah, obviously at this point I did feel quite bad because obviously you are sort of, what's the word? Profiling, I think.
You're crackhead profiling.
Crackhead profiling, yeah. But as soon as she's seen me, because how it was, I can't really describe it, but there was like sort of like mannequins in the way of her seeing me. So I've come around this corner, which is near the entrance. She's seen me walk, and as soon as she has seen me walk, she's literally just started screaming, "You effing and jeffing, you wanker, you this, that and the other." Not necessarily to me, she's just shouting like these expletives, and all of a sudden she's just charging at me. Now, I've been on numerous occasions, obviously, sort of like when it comes to fighting or certain situations when you work in the doors, if someone charges at you, you have to handle it in a different manner. Now, I've never had a crackhead with a child, holding a child charging me. So it's not like...
You can knock her down, take her down,
I can't physically touch her, which obviously as a retail security officer you wouldn't necessarily touch anyone anyway. You're not allowed to be dragging them around, you can't be doing anything like that, unless obviously you feel you're, your friend. Again, obviously she's seen me and she's shouting effing and jeffing, and she has literally just come running at me. Still holding, but the way she's like, obviously all the Americans know certain times if you're on the American football, I call it American football.
White girl, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're assuming.
Well, no, because like I think in America most, I say typically when you see a crackhead in movie, because I watch mostly black movies, there's normally black women. But normally, typically in England, crackheads are white women. I don't. I'm just stating it out there.
Generalizing.
Right now.
Well, no, yeah, but the way she is like holding this child, she's not, because normally obviously you hold it 2 hands, you're walking around, you know, you're nice. She's seen me put the child in one arm as she's carrying a football, and she's like ran. It's honestly, I can't describe the feeling of seeing this woman run at me with her child. Like, oh, I don't know, it wasn't so newborn, but it wasn't like a toddler type. It was probably like just under 1, or if not 1. Yeah, she put it in one hand, or one arm, should I say, and she's like ran at me.
That's so sad.
And then all of a sudden, because I'm just gonna like move out of the way, and be like, okay, that's fine, you go. She didn't have she had no clothes, she didn't rob anything or anything like that. I'm assuming she just thought she was in trouble just for even being there.
She probably gets a lot of like, well, crackhead profiling because of the way she looks.
Just because of the way you look.
And she could have just honestly falling on bad times and made obviously wrong decisions in her life. But it is sad. It's one of those where obviously we can laugh a little bit, but then you can't laugh without feeling bad because she's the mother for the baby.
That's not even like the weirdest bit. The weirdest bit is she turned into Jackie Chan all of a sudden and tried to fly and kick me.
So this is when she was charging at you?
So she's charging, she's run at me with her little baby.
Her little football.
Her little football baby. And yeah, she's jumped, she's tried to fly and kick me. Obviously I'm sort of like out of the way anyway, so I'm in no trouble of like no harm. Yeah, she tried to fly and kick me. She's literally just like managed to fly by me and run out of the door. Like I said, she had no clothes, there was no form of, she had no bags with her. And again, that's sort of obviously, you've got no bags or anything like that with you. So already, obviously, yeah. Sorry,
There's like obviously as a shopkeeper, there's a lot you keep an eye out for.
Yeah, you have to. I think
she fit a lot of the profile.
Completely. Straight away, if you saw her, you'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna watch you clearly. But yeah, she tried to fly and kick me. I had moved. She's run out of the door. I've obviously had to write up a little report and just say that obviously nothing was taken or anything like that. But yeah, that's the story of when a crackhead tried to fly and kick me. So, like you say, it is very bad because obviously
I think it's funny and sad. It's one of those where you like you laugh but then you feel bad. She's like,
quick funny story. Yeah. I'm not going to name the store.
Yeah.
It was kind of racist purely for the fact that any time any black people would come in, especially like black women with really big bags.
Yeah.
They'd be like, keep an eye on.
Oh, so the store would always do that?
Yeah, the manager straight away would be like, keep an eye on such and such. So I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But again, quick story time. One time, 3 black dudes, really big, quite beefy black dudes came in, and straight away my manager was like, yada yada yada, you need to keep an eye on these guys, they're on this such and such. So okay, cool. Gone around the corner, and I know all of them.
That's hilarious. All your friends.
So I'm like, oh shit. You lot. So
you look dodgy, so apparently.
Oh, straight away, I said,
just shopping while being black.
Yeah, literally. And that, like I say, the store was quite bad for that. But yeah.
What did they say when did you? I was assuming you spoke to them.
Yeah, straight away. I was like, you lot got me looking. I've got to come look after you lot, and then and obviously they asked questions like, "What do you mean?" and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, as soon as you walked in the door, you got called for me to keep an eye on you. And then they started doing that. The camera's like,
I really did it. Of course they did.
Like you like. So, well, no, yeah. Sorry, that was another. That was 2 story times for you.
Yeah, well, that was from you. I know.
Yeah. So,
but that's it for us.
That's it for
us. Hope you enjoyed that story time, and hope you're not offended. If you're offended, I don't care. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe, like this video if you like this, share if you like this. And I don't know what else. Okay, bye. Comment if you have something to say. If you're offended, write your comment below. I'll probably delete it, but write it below. Anyway.
Or if you guys got any funny stories, we'd love to know, to be fair.
Yeah, actually, if we have a really good one, we might pick it out and read it out on the next video.
But might even act it out.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That just came to me.
That's a great idea. Have you had any stories like that? Share them with us, guys.
Share the love.
Alright, ciao.
Bye.
Bye. Little old you.
Best friend.
You're my best friend.